New information. This is not a regurgitation of previous news that's already come rolling in, and we just continue to beat a dead horse. This is all new on screen. Steeler rumors kicking into high gear for Higgins or Aiyuk. Your boy told you it was going to happen. The Higgins stuff was on the way. And now we're hearing a lot of Higgins news. Not just one or two posts, but again, let me at the top preface that, again, none of this is for sure any sort of validated or confirmed information. A lot of these Steeler pages and Steeler reporters are just, kind of spitting out what they hear, translating what they hear, in some cases reworking and rewriting what they hear. But this is all new, and we're breaking it down right now. More fresh off the press, Higgins to the Steelers conversation and Aiyuk to the Steelers conversation. And this Aiyuk one's from a pretty big source. I'll post it here in a second. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, fresh off the press, I mean, this stuff is all brand new. I'm not regurgitating a single piece of news right here. Let's start off with the Brandon Aiyuk Pittsburgh Steeler rumor. This is coming from Benjamin Albright, who is a pretty big, beat writer, NFL writer out of the Denver area. And if you look at the date on this text, it's March 14th. So this is essentially a month ago. I don't know why he's sharing this late, if he maybe got an okay to post it, to leak it. I don't know why you would wait a whole month to post this, but he posted this about 5 hours ago on his Twitter. And this text message from a month ago, he posted 5 hours ago that says, yeah, I figured as much, be safe. Another conversation, obviously. Then Thursday, March 14, Steelers trying to get Aiyuk for Russ. Now, his comments went nuts, like, for Russell Wilson, the Niners have Purdy. And he later had to clarify, and then 5 minutes, this is really about an hour and a half ago by this time, he wrote, since this somehow needs clarification, he would be a weapon for Russell to use, not literally Russ in the trade. Because the way this is worded, Steelers trying to get Aiyuk for Russ, like in a swap, and people were going nuts about that. But he clarified it. Obviously, the 20 pick would be involved. We discussed this Aiyuk trade. If it were to happen, it would be something we imagine where the 20 and the 31 would get swapped, and then a future additional, pick downstream would be involved. Like maybe it was a third rounder, second rounder, fourth rounder, whatever, it would be added to the mix. But I highly doubt the Steelers would surrender the 20 overall straight up for Aiyuk. It'd have to be some sort of complicated deal. But this coming from this is probably the biggest source we could come across this kind of chatter, if it wasn't like a direct Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, ESPN type of writer report. This is a pretty well-known Denver Bronco reporter. Why is he posting this now? Is it him trying to, I don't know, catch fire? I mean, who really knows? But all I know is he's posting it. Why is he posting it? We're here to decide that. I don't know. Is it cap? Is it garbage? You and your clickbait titles. Well, then don't show up. Don't show up. Unfollow. We're here to discuss actual news that's out there, whether it's true or not. This is all over the place. Our job is to come in here and dissect it. I don't know how hard that is. Like, unfollow. Don't follow. Don't watch. I'm not sure what this means. I wonder if maybe he got the go-ahead from the source to say, hold off on this. And then all of a sudden he's like, go ahead and post that. That's fine. And he was talking to him. I don't know. Why else would you wait a whole month to post it? There's got to be some reason he held back from posting it. Or the person said, okay, finally post it, but there's no truth to it anymore. I don't know. Your guess is going to be as good as mine, but this reporter is big enough that this needs to be talked about. I don't know what else to say on it other than we're all here speculating the same. Then the T. Higgins to the Steelers reports. These are coming in, flying in like crazy. This one from Steelers Update. The Steelers have discussed trading Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Higgins is scheduled to play 2024 under the franchise tag, and he wants a long-term deal. So there's that report. That's one of so many. I couldn't even clip them all. I just stopped clipping them. Steelers are having internal conversations about making an offer for Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. We know that Khan is absolutely in the mix for a potential wide receiver depending on the cost. T. Higgins costs a second rounder. They most certainly would go after him. Pittsburgh Steelers have reportedly discussed trading for Cincinnati Bengal wide receiver T. Higgins. That was it. That was let's see here, Steelers Update. That was the same report here, right? No, different report. Different actual post or tweet. There was like 10 of them. I just stopped clipping them. Do you think it's actual news or clickbait, says Perry. Perry, why are you even here? Like, you don't have to be here either. This is actual news. You know what's so funny about Perry and some of the Niner guys? If this was out there on Jalen Hurts, all the diehard Niner people, you'll be talking about it like crazy. You see the Eagles are in shambles. You see that news? You're absolutely ridiculous if you believe that Benjamin Albright posting this isn't news. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. This is a pretty big name in the news world, especially in Denver. This is like your Matt Mayoko. This is the equivalent of your Matt Mayoko. If Matt Mayoko sent out a text that he had that said this exact same thing, do you think your beloved Niner pages would be posting about it? Do you think that, Perry? Or are you so biased you can't even admit that? You can't even. What more do you want? Perry, if you don't want somebody to go live and talk about something that's as big as this that's out there from a Benjamin Albright, who has 200,000 Twitter followers, big name person in Denver, big beat writer in Denver, if this isn't big enough for you, if you think this isn't worth going live, then don't come in here. No one's asking you to come watch the live stream. Nobody needs you here, Perry, if it's that big of a problem for you. So no need. You don't need to check in. Roll call's not required. This one from Cobol just got back from Dune 2, bro. I want to see that. And Smitty is live. It's been a great day. Bring on the clickbait. Let's go. Appreciate you, Cobol. Cobol throwing fun at Perry. No, I think it is, but people have ideas, or it is fact. I'm a Ravens fan. But Perry, you're always in here questioning something. This could be all for clicks. You could be all for clicks, media. It's crazy, bro. People are wild. So, a lot of new information. You digest it how you want. Instagram Niners, they're going to get all upset in the comments. No worries. My YouTube people know what time it is. My YouTube people know that your boy's serious when a piece of news is big enough in a spotlight, in Twitterverse, on Instagram, anywhere, on TV, wherever. I'm going to be here. Doesn't matter if other people wouldn't. Doesn't matter if someone says, oh, this is probably fake news. Albright's just trying to get clicks. Doesn't matter what those people think. I'll be here for you. I will answer the call. I will come in and tell you whether you should believe it or not. I will give you my assessment of it. Do we shoot it down? Do we give it a stamp of approval? Do we double stamp, a triple stamp on this one? I want to know who the source is. He won't tell us. He doesn't even say per source. He just puts eyeball emojis, though. So like you wonder, but how accurate has Benjamin Albright been on breaking news? I don't know that I even have the answer to that. I know he's a well-respected reporter in Denver. I know other fan bases are going to hate on him because he's a Denver reporter. But it is what it is. We're here to discuss these absolutely hot off the press tweets and news doesn't mean any of it's going to end up happening. We do know that there's so much buzz around Pittsburgh getting a wide receiver. It all makes sense. If T. Higgins could be had for a second-round pick, then it is advantageous for the Steelers to go ahead, keep their 20 overall pick, not use it on a wide receiver, bring in T. Higgins, sign him to a long-term deal, and then draft another player with that 20 overall pick. You've got Fields, you got Russell Wilson, you got T. Higgins, George Pickens, and now you could draft, whether it's defense, offense, with that pick. You got a good situation walking in. You got a really good situation walking in. The Steelers don't want Russ. Read the second part of it, bro. Sean. Read the second part, the clarification part at the bottom. This is a fake news for views channel. Then you can leave. There you go. Brandon, I made it easier for you. Now you no longer have to watch. Brandon's gone. It's that simple. It's that simple. You really, if you don't want to be here, I'll help you. I'll help you. It just, I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's common sense. It's common sense. It really is just common sense. People don't have sometimes common sense. Pickens going to hold it down for wide receiver, says CB. Yeah. Let's see here. Really hope the Bills get Aiyuk. That's definitely, they're definitely in the cards. We talked about the Bills earlier. Steelers are the one topic tonight, at least here on this show, because of all the buzz that's floating out there right now. Like within the last 5 hours, this is all 5 hours or less fresh. Everything you see on screen, about 5 to 6 hours fresh. All the Higgins combos. And what's so funny is like a Perry or whoever in here that wants to come in and hate, which is fine. You can come in and hate all you want. But what's crazy about that is we've been pretty damn on point all off season long. We called the Aiyuk step by step. Everything that's happened with Aiyuk, we've called it step by step. The trade request probably Monday or tomorrow or Tuesday gets announced. Then what are the Niner fans going to say? Smitty, you're going to be wrong. How have I been wrong? I have not been wrong at all on Aiyuk. And I've even said over and over, he's following the Deebo Samuel blueprint. And yet people say to me, it makes my jaw drop, really. Smitty, he's just following the Deebo Samuel blueprint. No, you don't say. You don't say. You mean the one that led to a horrible season? You mean the one that led to a horrible season for both Bosa and Deebo? That blueprint that weighed on signing your player and making him miss all of camp and getting totally out of sync? That blueprint, that amazing blueprint that's never worked? That one. I got you. Wouldn't it be Steelers Nation, let's grind, says Sick Nasty. I mean, it's going to be Justin Fields at the end of the day. It's going to be the Justin Fields show. I don't chat much. I'm kind of new, but Smitty is the best out there. I leaked this day one and subbed right away. Appreciate you, Caps fan. Appreciate you. You do comment once in a while. I see you comment, bro. You're in here. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Appreciate you. Roger. What's up, Graveyard Crew? What's up, Roger? Appreciate you. Smitty is the man, and the people stop hating. That's right. Haters are going to hate. It's going to happen. No, it's here. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. That's Ron. Ron's telling you what the chant should be. We'll open the phone lines in a second. Smitty has been more accurate than reporters. There you go, Terry. I knew I kept you, or Perry. I knew I kept you around for some reason. Anyway, so that's what we got. I'm going to open the phone lines here in a second. You guys can chime on in. Just a bunch of fresh T. Higgins to the Steelers, exactly per freaking what the Smitty ordered. Okay, your boy Smitty talked about this for about 48 hours. We kept mentioning, get ready for Higgins. It's coming. I said it last night on the Graveyard stream. I said it the day before. When Travis called up, we talked about it again today, that this was going to be coming. The Steelers conversation around both Aiyuk and Higgins, not just Aiyuk. The fact that, the Aiyuk trade request is coming. The fact that, you see Benjamin Albright, a pretty big name in the Denver world for sure, says that the Steelers are trying, this is somebody that messaged him, Steelers are trying to get Aiyuk for Russ. They're not saying in exchange for Russ because he clarifies right here, since this somehow needs clarification. And it does, because frankly, it reads that way. Steelers trying to get Aiyuk for Russ in a trade, like 1-for-1. And the comments were like, you can see there's 81 comments immediately that started saying, like, what in the hell? Why would the Niners want Russell Wilson? We had Brock Purdy, blah, blah, blah. And he said, somehow I got to clarify, the weapon is for Russ, not that would be the trade. The 20 overall pick would be involved, most likely. There's no way in my mind that the Niners would even consider getting rid of Brandon Aiyuk if they couldn't get their hands on that 20 overall pick. It would require, in my opinion, some sort of trade down, though, for the Steelers and trade up for the Niners. I don't think, it doesn't make any sense to give up second rounders for Aiyuk. You'd rather call Aiyuk's bluff than, I think, surrender the 20. Because when you really think about it, even if Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't somehow fall here, you're still talking about Keon Coleman, Leggett, a handful of wide receivers that, if were free, would be more valuable than Aiyuk. It's just the way it is. You can get mad at that if you're an Aiyuk fan, whatever. But they're more valuable than Aiyuk because they're on a rookie deal, fresh young rookie deal. You get 5 years if you want, and you can franchise tag. So technically, you could get 6 years if you wanted. And Aiyuk's going to cost a boatload. So really, it's going to be the Steelers probably trading second rounder or second and a third rounder, or second and a fourth rounder without any first rounder involvement for T. Higgins, is my guess, because he's on the franchise tag. Okay, that's a little bit different. It also kind of signifies the values are a little different too, in my opinion. He's on the franchise tag. He's made it all the way to the franchise tag. He's sitting on the franchise tag. Aiyuk's on a fifth-year option. Okay, so Aiyuk is in a different realm. And Aiyuk is a different player. And in my opinion, Aiyuk's a better player. So Aiyuk's going to command a 20 to 31 swap amongst other draft capital, whatever that might be. Higgins is going to allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to remain at 20, in my opinion. At least it should. And a second and fourth, or second and sixth rounder, second and fifth rounder, second and third rounder. Wom, I got you, bro. You commented 100,000 times on this. I'm going to do a draft pick trading video. Don't worry. Hang tight. I appreciate you, though. But you don't need to keep asking me on every video. I see you. I see you, Wom. I'm going to do a draft pick trading video. Believe me. Okay? So Higgins likely going to the Steelers would not require the 20 overall, in my opinion. And so that would be the more attractive move. Now, what's going to be crazy about that is if Higgins gets traded to Pittsburgh, everyone's going to go, see, told you Aiyuk wasn't good. When we don't even know how close it could have come. We don't know. We'll have no clue. They seem to be the most interested party. So kind of like Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta, ruled out Fields getting a home as a starter. And then it's all us, everybody assuming, oh, nobody liked him. He never had a shot as a starting job. He did. If the Falcons did not bring Cousins in, Fields would be starting for the Falcons right now, which might be a blessing in disguise. Pittsburgh's going to be a nice, quiet little home for him to rise up in and smash. Understand, I feel that way. But my point is, just one little trigger effect. Everything is a trigger effect. Everything is a trigger effect. It has a cascading effect. And the fact that Aiyuk doesn't go to Pittsburgh, Higgins goes, could close the door on a trade idea. And then later on, people go, told you, oh yeah. When it could have been this close for Aiyuk to be heading to Pittsburgh. Who the hell knows? Nobody knows. Anybody in here saying they know, they don't know. I don't know. I'm here to guesstimate, speculate, and translate. And you can like that or you can not like that. I'm not really concerned with that, because people that I've got to twist their arm to watch my show, people I got to twist their arm to understand and open their ears and listen, that I'm not here to spread fake news, never will. Anybody saying that, and that one guy, he came in and he said, Smitty, this is nothing but a clickbait show. Boom, you're gone. You don't have to be here. We don't need negativity here. Go watch another channel. I don't need you here. We don't need you here. No one's taking roll. Okay? There's no attendance sheet. You can bounce. If you don't like me talking about the freshest news on Twitter, Instagram, or anywhere, regardless of whether it's been confirmed, but it's out there and everybody's talking about it, everybody's retweeting it, everybody's commenting on it. If you don't like that, there's the door. No one's asking you to come and watch the show. The real people will. The real people know what we're doing and accomplishing here. So, phone lines are open. Call in to the Grindhouse phone lines. Dial in, dial in, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the show. Dial in, dial in, dial in, young man. Your boy's here to assist. So if you have a question, I've hopefully got an answer for you. These are fresh, news reports, by the way, or tweets, or whatever you want to, however you want to word it. These are not regurgitated, re-sampled, re-brought up pieces of news. And if anybody has a problem with me coming in here and creating a live stream off of brand new, fresh tweets and rumors and buzz, we're in smoke season. How much of anything is going to be concrete, corroborated, sources named? Like 1 to 5%? Like, what do you want? What do you want? I guarantee you that if Matt Maiocco sent this text out, he's the Niners equivalent to Benjamin Albright in Denver. Benjamin Albright meet Matt Maiocco. Matt Maiocco meet Benjamin Albright. Okay? If Matt Maiocco sent out a cropped text from somebody that said, Aiyuk staying, do you think that the Niner population out there, the Niner content creators, wouldn't be posting that Matt Maiocco text that says, don't worry, Aiyuk staying? Like, answer that question. If you're a Niner fan, tell me the truth in the chat right now. Would you see that everywhere? The answer is yes. So calm down. This is big enough news. It's fresh. It's 6 hours old. It's Benjamin Albright. He's pretty big. Okay? He's very, very, very well known. Retweeted by Schefter and Rappaport. This is a guy that's respected enough with about 200,000 followers. Not that that necessarily means anything on Twitter anymore. But this is a guy that when he posts something within a couple hours has 300,000 views. He has 233 retweets. Those comments, he could pump those numbers up a little bit. 81, those are rookie numbers, but we're not going to judge him for that. Bottom line is, this is the Benjamin Albright's the Matt Maiocco of the Denver Broncos. Not to mention, if you come in here saying, oh, he doesn't hold a candle to Matt Maiocco, guess what Matt Maiocco said? That Sam Darnold's the best throwing quarterback, throws the best football in San Francisco 49er history. If that doesn't disqualify him from even being in a Benjamin Albright's conversation, I don't know what will. Because that's one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard in my life. Live on the phone line is Ron Navy. But Ron, before you say a word, hold on, young man. Let me just say, Kobold, thank you for the $5 hauler. Appreciate that. Hassan in the building. I haven't seen Hassan in a while. What's up, Smitty? Counting down the title. Counting down to the title. Okay, appreciate you, Hassan, for coming in hot with the super chat. I got Ron Navy. I got Ray G. I got Garrett from Wisconsin on the phone line. Let's go to Ron Navy first. If the other two gentlemen would mute real quick. No mouth breathing if possible. Ron, you're live. I know you're excited about this. And you might have to throw another $50 hauler on the board to say that Higgins will be in Pittsburgh. Because it's either Higgins or Aiyuk potentially, at least at this point.
Well, the actual chant is, here we go, Steelers, here we go. That is the actual chant. And
here we go, Justin.
I think that Albright, I think he watches your show. Because isn't it a coincidence that As soon as we got done talking about this, he posts that.
Well, maybe I'm defending him. Maybe I'm defending him.
These guys are onto something. Let me post this because I've had this information. I haven't put it out yet. Let me post this because on Smitty's show they were talking about it, and let me reinforce what they were talking about.
Maybe I'm defending Benjamin Albright because maybe this is me in this text message. Maybe I'm friends with him. No, I'm not. But yeah, I don't know. I think that, look, when somebody, and I'm not saying that numbers count. Like somebody could have fake followers and have a big Twitter or whatever. He doesn't have a fake Twitter. He's a very well-known Denver, reporter. He is the Matt Maiocco of Denver, for whatever that means. So he's big enough, and like he's had retweets from Schefter and Rappaport, and he's that much respected to be retweeted when he has information. We have not seen Rappaport or Schefter retweet this though, so there's that conversation that needs to be had. And your boy always tries to bring you guys an honest take on this. For all the people that say I'm clickbaity, I just like to spread rumors. I keep it real, and I come in here and I tell you what my real assessment is. And my real assessment is if this had a lot of legs, this particular report right here, which again is a month old. Like let's talk about the facts of this graphic right here. About exactly a month ago, this message was texted to Benjamin Albright. Apparently, we don't even know that for sure, but we assume it is, right? That says Steelers are trying to get Aiyuk for Russell Wilson as a weapon for Russell Wilson. Oh wow, that would be huge. To get opposite of Pickens is what you heard Benjamin Albright reply, right? That's what we're guessing right here, right? Unless it's the reverse, like he sent that. And this is like, I don't know. But regardless, why would he send it a month later? Maybe he's being okay to send it out because they want to leak it or whatever. Who knows, right? There's got to be some reason he held onto it for a month straight. You don't just forget to post this, and you don't just post it unless something happened and changed. Why would you? If you had this information back then, unless maybe he did post this and I didn't see it, he's just reposting it. But I didn't get that sense from reading any of the comments. Hey, this is old. Why are you reposting it? You just see people saying like, why are you posting this now? You got this message a month ago. Something like use the brain, use the noggin, use some psychology. Something made him decide to post this, and maybe he was told it's fine, you can do it now because things are in motion or something. All I know is that sometimes these things requires that contract to be worked out, and once it's all set up, ironed out, maybe they can leak the information or whatever. I don't know, but this is big enough news because it's this guy. It's not some random Steeler page, which in my defense of posting this, there's a lot of them from a lot of Steeler pages, and I preface that from the jump, that we have no substantial source on any of these. They're just regurgitated. Pittsburgh Steelers have reportedly discussed trading for Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. And internal discussions happening at Steelers left and right, but they're Steeler pages. But it's my obligation to say, hey, in Pittsburgh, the buzz is crazy. Just like in Arizona, when Kyler was maybe going to get traded, when Kyler was maybe going to get his deal, he was not going to get his deal. The buzz was crazy locally, and I had all that information right at my fingertips, so we constantly went live on Kyler. It is what it is. We have what we have. The smoke is what it is. The smoke is the smoke. I'm very transparent with what I'm dealing with and what I'm trying to digest, and we have very, very vague stuff here from Steeler pages with no source or no way to track it back to any specific convo or tweet or corroborated source. And over here, we have no source, but you could look at Benjamin Albright as the source because he's a big enough name. So the T. Higgins one has more legs than the Brandon Aiyuk one has more legs than the T. Higgins one. So, I don't know.
I don't think Cincinnati wants to would consider trading T. Higgins in the division. I think most teams don't like trading in the division to begin with. So but here's the thing. Think about it, right? He had this. How long ago did Albright have this and he didn't post it? You said over a month ago, right?
Look at midnight, it was exactly on the 14th. So for
Now,
you,
check
it's
this.
past midnight for you in Eastern time. I'm Arizona time.
No. I'm talking about this information originally.
I know. I'm
It goes-
saying it's April 14th. This was March 14th.
Right. Now, when did Aiyuk post his thing to Tomlin, his tweet? That was after this. So this Albright guy, could have
Right.
had information prior to, like you said.
He's either
but
Albright
then
or all.
by tweeting out Tomlin.
I mean, hey, let's you know what? Let's find that post, that Aiyuk post. Let's see when the date was on that, because that is actually a good point to check the exact date on it. Let me see if I could go back and find it. Aiyuk. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is
So that tells me Aiyuk and Pittsburgh were kind of talking behind him.
3 weeks ago. So, yeah, I mean, the timing makes sense too. All right, hang tight, Ron. Let me go over to Ray G real quick, and then we'll circle back to Ron. And Ron, you can interrupt in a minute. Ray G, you're live. What do you think? What do you know? What do you say? What do you hear? Are you
I have
on?
a question about the Texans. Are they going to draft a running back this year? I don't think old man Joe Mixon can.
Are you calling from from the space shuttle? Like, where are you at?
Can you hear me better now?
No, I mean, you sound like you're talking into your armpit. We can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my phone like 10 feet away.
What? Yeah, his phone 10 feet away. Ray G, I don't mean to make assumptions here, but I don't think they're designed to work that way.
Yeah, I know. I'm just used to talking to people that way.
I recommend not doing that.
know.
You might be making some deals
Right.
and some having some conversations people don't understand. They might be agreeing to the wrong deal. All right, Ray G, hit me with it one more time. Would you say the Texans drafting an RB?
Yeah, because I don't think old man Joe Mixon can cut it. I don't know about you, but
Yeah,
I think they should draft an RB.
Yeah, they will. Think about it this way, bro. This is such a mediocre RB class that better than normal running backs will probably fall, because it is full of really good running backs, but it doesn't have any great running backs. So that's going to trigger the running back drafting to be so late that anybody can get one. Anybody can get a number 3 running back. You could get a number 3 running back probably in round 3. I don't know how many are even going to go in round 2. Maybe a little run happens, but there's a really good chance that Frank Gore Jr. barely gets drafted. If I'm the Houston Texans, let me make a little prediction or a little wish. Frank Gore Jr. goes to the Texans, goes to the Cowboys, goes to the Washington Commanders because of Eckler and that kind of crowded room that doesn't feel really solid, goes to the Cardinals. I want Frank Gore Jr., somebody clip this for later, Frank Gore Jr. to go there. And if he goes to Houston, and everybody says, Houston, what are they doing? They didn't draft a running back on day 1 or day 2. And all of a sudden you get to the point where they either sign him right after the draft or they draft him at the tail end, whatever. Frank Gore Jr. could climb that running back room. That's where the low draft capital running back like Kyren or Arian Foster can get into Arian Foster, ironically Houston, can get into a seat where it doesn't matter. If they climb in and deliver and there's nobody else around them, they can thrive. So I agree with you, and you'll be able to get someone like that. If I was the Houston Texans, if I was the Washington Commanders, and you know why I keep using the Commanders? Not just because it's a great running back room, but because Adam Peters knows ball. And I have a feeling, and he's got Niner ties and all that. I just wonder if Adam Peters is the guy who drafts Frank Gore, or if he goes to Miami Mike in Miami, or as Ron calls him, Magic Mike. If he goes to the Miami Dolphins, Frank Gore Jr. to the moon, like in terms of like sleeper value, where no one's gonna. I don't mean that in a bad way for Achan, and Mostert's getting older. and it could drop off at any moment. We don't want Achane getting 25 carries a game. So Frank Gore Jr. could slip into the Mostert role in whatever. And you could cuff him to Achane and you'd be golden. You know, so like there's quietly good places, but Houston 100%. Braylon Allen, possible. How far does Braylon Allen fall? I don't know. He could fall to anybody, bro. That's the beauty of a very mediocre draft class, is that anybody can fall anywhere. So I have a feeling
right now it's probably Houston Texans and Dallas Cowboys. I don't know.
I still can't hear him very well.
Joe Mixon. I don't think Joe Mixon is worth it.
Are you on speaker? It still doesn't sound. It almost sounds better when you're 10 feet away. Are you on a headpiece, an earpiece, a speakerphone, talking through the console of your car? Like, is there something unusual going on here? Because you called before.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Hang tight. Put us on speaker if you can. Let's see if that'll fix it. Yeah, let's test it. 1, 2, 3. Ray G. 1, 2, 3. Ray to the moon. What? He's like far better on speaker.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better, I think. Say Frank Gore Jr. to the moon. Let's test it.
Frank Gore Jr. to the moon.
Much clearer. Much clearer. Okay, Garrett, you must have sat on the phone wrong, got some water in this. I don't know. Garrett, you're live. What's up, Garrett?
What's up, Smitty?
Yo.
How we doing tonight?
Bro, I'm always good. I'm always loving going live on this stuff, and it doesn't even bother me. People are like, Smitty, don't let it get you down, or don't worry about the hate. I don't care about, like, my reaction's always gonna be there. Like, I'm not.
Of course.
Just because I react to it, you want me to sit there? Like, I'm gonna be honest. That's it. It doesn't mean I'm mad. Doesn't mean anybody's getting to me. I love this stuff, bro. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I might be on cloud 10. I love smoke season.
And you always handle it professionally. So.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do love talking about smoke. I'm not gonna lie and run from that, but I don't try and perpetuate fake information. If anything, if it's not big at all, I won't go live on it. I go live when big news breaks, as I always say. When big news breaks, Albright showing a text message. Again, for any Niner fan, call me up right now. The phone number is right there, and lie to my face. Tell me that if Matt Mayoko, whatever the hell his name is, if Matt Mayako were to post a text message that said, "Don't worry, Aiyuk staying," and he responds, "Great, thank you," and he posted that on Twitter, you can't tell me that you wouldn't be seeing every Niner page known to man posting the hell out of that thing immediately.
Yep.
Be honest with yourself. Stop coming in here and running your mouth about how this isn't what isn't news. It's not news. Aiyuk can't get traded just because you don't want him to get traded. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Garrett.
No, you're good. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on, obviously, Purdy is probably going to have to get an extension next season. Do you think this whole Aiyuk situation with how the relationship is right now, like if you're John Lynch, like is that in the back of your head thinking, okay, well, we got to pay Aiyuk and we got to pay Purdy. Is it better for us to trade Aiyuk for a first rounder and extend Purdy next season and maybe get, wide receiver talent this year,
Bro, these are such tough questions to answer. They're great questions, and I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing because Purdy doesn't deserve to be extended, but the fact hold on. This is you're definitely right. Jed York, the owner of the Niners, has already said that he has a blank check, like essentially ready, and that Brock Purdy's going to reset the QB market. That's coming from the owner, who's first of all showing his hand. Number one, number two, speaking way out of turn, out of pocket. Like Purdy's got to play another year. You're not giving him that now. You're giving him that next year. Purdy's still got to deliver that kind of production before you can offer that up. But that is a bold statement. And it also tells you, like, think about it. What are they saying to Aiyuk right now by saying that? What is Jed York really doing? They're not saying Aiyuk's going to reset the wide receiver market or we're going to give him top 5 money, just hang tight. They're literally going, we hope to bring Aiyuk back By the way, hold on, stay right there, Aiyuk. Brock Purdy's resetting the QB market, fellas. Did you hear about that? Like, it's almost like, two different, perspectives. So I don't think Aiyuk is as a priority as people think. I also, I said earlier, I don't mean to crap on Aiyuk at all, because I think he is a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL, but he's not a top 10. He's not. He's not. You can say what you want. He's not a top 10 wide receiver, because 3 incoming rookies they're going to consume 3 of those top 10 spots. There's no room for Aiyuk to be a top 10 wide receiver. And while I think he's borderline wide receiver 1 in fantasy, that puts him at 13, 14, 15. That's a very good wide receiver. You're talking about Mike Evans. You're talking about, a lot of great guys right there. That means you're fantastic. There's no kick to the nutsack value-wise by ranking him 12, 13, or 14. It's just you're taking it very personal. You got a Niner shirt on, right? You got Niner pajamas on right now. Niner underwear. You're wearing Niner underwear right now, and you're really offended right now that I didn't have Aiyuk in the top 7. But I think, by the way, I'm wearing Buffalo Bill underwear at the current moment. I don't think this is something that they want to get it done, but it's not something that they're going to move heaven and earth to do, because as I said earlier, Malachi Corley could be drafted to replace Aiyuk, and you wouldn't miss as much of a beat as you would think. Aiyuk is amazing, but he's not Debo. Debo might not be as good of a route runner, but Debo's the glue to this team. Aiyuk is an accoutrement that I believe you could replace or somewhat replicate easier than Debo. Debo is the league's best yak yardage machine. I don't care if Aiyuk can't be covered in a phone book running amazing crispy routes. Debo does something different to a defense. Debo is the number 1 wide receiver in the National Football League. The number 1 in yak yards. Number 1. There's nobody better than Debo Samuel at yak. Nobody. Guess who's also going to come in as one of the best yak players in the National Football League from the jump? Malachi Corley. And I had some guy rambling in my comments on the YouTube channel on the last video saying, let me get this straight, Smitty. Did you just say Malachi Corley's the next Debo? Why on earth are you out of your mind? Would they draft another Debo? They already have one. It doesn't mean he's playing exactly like Debo. Doesn't mean he can't run crispy routes and play an Aiyuk role just because he's as good as Debo at doing the Debo things. Corley would be perfect. He would replace Aiyuk perfectly. So if you ask me and you say, hey, Smitty, why would the Niners even consider trading Aiyuk? Because at 31 overall, you could potentially get Malachi Corley pretty easily. And that would be a good replacement. So what do you get for Aiyuk? I don't know. I mean, like Ron said, if he goes for a second rounder, which I don't think he'll do, I think the Niners will call his bluff and let the NFL draft pass and then see if he really decides not to sign the best offer they give him. What's the worst that could happen to the Niners if they don't get a deal done? He plays out this year. They can franchise tag him. He put up a fuss and maybe hold out. But they literally can, the Niners can technically speaking keep him for 2 more years, and he has no control ultimately over that. He can only pretend, huff and puff, and then come back and play, maybe get injured. But that's where the Niners are going to sit down and say to themselves, if he's not going to sign a $23.5 million deal, right, per year, if he's wanting 27 and we're nowhere near close, they may not want to worry about him holding out next year, holding out this year, when they can just draft Malachi Corley. Or they can trade for a pick, switch 20 and 31, and send him to Pittsburgh, and then somehow, some way grab Brian Thomas Jr. if he fell, or whoever they want to grab, Leggett, whoever.
Or even like a Xavier Worthy or something, add that speed to that receiver room.
I mean, it's certainly possible they go that route. I mean, he's gaining a lot of momentum, but there's a lot of room for a trade. I love it when people act like he can't get traded. You're talking to somebody that's, like I said, wearing the Niner pajamas right now. It's fine, and I appreciate those people. I'm not mad at them, but it how does somebody not understand? It really comes down to how far apart the player and team are contract wise, and that makes the team look to offers. look, he's going to be unreasonable about this. We're not going to. Who wants Aiyuk on no contract extension? Nobody. Like, because you'd rather trade him and start over if you're going to lose him. Nobody. Yep. That's the whole thing, is when you're on a contract year, it's either sign him or lose him. It's either trade him or lose him. That's the common theme. If you're in your final year and he's got a contract year, 5th-year option picked up, and you're in your final year, it's either sign him to a long-term deal or you're going to lose him, and you're okay with that because they're not really elite. Really, you like him. But if he is elite, you either sign him or you trade him because he's got max value right now. And the other thing that Niner fans, I think, don't understand is that with your point about Brock Purdy downstream, you have to do something. Like, there's not a real feasible plan of attack to give this man $26-27 million per year and give Brock Purdy this record-setting quarterback reset money that I don't think he'll get. Really, at the end of the day, I think Brock Purdy comes out looking good, looks spotty, plays good at times, but the last
He's
3 games,
always going to be a top 15 quarterback, though.
Yeah, because he's in a great offense, right? But his last 3 games were not spectacular. I will give it to him. He's a really smart kid that picks up the offense really quickly. He's very astute in the pocket. He's very good. But, like, this guy struggled in his final 3 games.
Money,
top 5 money? Hell no. I wouldn't give him top 5 money, let alone reset the market. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
That's crazy.
The fact that people think that Jalen Hurts is not as good as this guy from a football perspective makes my jaw drop. I don't even understand that at all. Jalen Hurts.
And a blank check, like, for the owner to come out and say that is nuts.
In fantasy, he's better, Smitty, but not NFL-wise. What are you talking about? Those pajamas, the goggles, you got the whole wardrobe going on. You got the cape, the Niner cape on, the Niner blindfold, for your beauty sleep, too. Real quickly, let me go back to Ron Navy real quick. Garrett, hold on a second. Ron Navy, what's up?
Okay.
That's funny. All this, it makes perfect sense if you think about it. You unload Aiyuk, you get max value for him. You don't have to worry about paying him more than you want to pay him, and you go draft a rookie. That's exactly how I see it working out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made that bold prediction if I really didn't have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, like I said, you might want to throw a Higgins one down later just to grab that one too. But
I really don't think Cincinnati wants to trade Higgins inside the division, especially the Steelers. And and plus, he's older than Aiyuk. He doesn't block as good as Aiyuk, and he gets injured more than Aiyuk. He's always
I agree.
Injury bug.
I agree. I don't like Higgins near as much as Aiyuk. It seems like the market kind of does, though. The market kind of does. I don't. I agree with you. The market doesn't agree with us, but you and I see it the same. The only reason, like I said, interdivision stuff happens for anybody that thinks it won't. It does from time to time. It definitely does. If you're not willing to give him the money to keep him, you clearly don't believe you're giving that team all that much. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I ultimately think. I do believe, to be honest with you, if the Pittsburgh Steelers got Higgins, it'd be good, but I think he'd disappoint at the cost you'd have to pay, and I think he would not be near as good as people expect. I think Aiyuk would be phenomenal. I don't know if he'd be as good in Pittsburgh as he would in San Francisco, because I believe, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that the Pickens will.
They got Justin Fields after that. So and Aiyuk can block. We know that for sure. So he's gonna be a big target. And you're gonna be opposite of Pickens. So I mean, Pickens going down, opening up the defense, and then you got Aiyuk running those crispy routes. Plus he's able to block. So if Fields decides to, take off and run on bootleg or whatever, boom, it all makes sense.
Yeah. George from the Bay is on the phone. Let's hear what a Niner fan has to say. George from the Bay, what's up, my guy?
Yes, Smitty, I'm here watching the show, and I'm hanging out in my 49er pajama pants. So
attaboy. Attaboy. Is it a one piece or a two?
Two piece.
Okay. Thought maybe it was a one piece, jumper. Okay. What do you think, pal?
I mean, you guys know how I stand on this Aiyuk take. I mean, God, the Niners will just be so stupid to let this guy go, man. Like, the greatest wide receiver we've had in a long time. Like, wide receiver, not wide back, wide receiver, right? 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns, 75 catches. This guy is a stud. I think he's going to have an even bigger year next year. That's why I put the $50 bowl prediction on there.
Yes, sir.
Top 5 receiver. I think he could probably be top 3, but I'm going to go with the top 5.
It's bold.
Now, if he goes to any team, you made a really good point. He might not put up those type of numbers on another team. And he does so many great things. He would be an asset to a lot of teams, obviously, but his run blocking skills, his yards after the catch skills. Dude, that catch in that game off the helmet was just ridiculous. Against the Lions.
I try and be very honest with myself. And if St. Brown had caught that, I'm just being completely transparent. I'm as honest as I think as you could find an analyst. I think, do I get caught up a little bit in some bias? Absolutely, everybody does. But I'm just being completely honest. If St. Brown had caught that in that game, we would be calling him like Lord St. Brown, most amazing, wide receiver with the most, awareness. And then Aiyuk catches it. And I'm not a Niner hater by any means, but I'm a very big, Detroit player fan. So I was rooting for the Lions in that game, all honesty, right? Because St. Brown, Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs. So it's not rooted in hatred for the Niners. It's rooted in we want to see these players that we all love and tout so much go further into the playoffs. And so, when Aiyuk caught it, we're like, oh, lucky play, went off his helmet. I'm just being honest there. But I truly would have to look at it and say, okay, like that was crazy, man. The fact that the Niners won that game was the biggest unraveling I've ever seen. And it was one of those things where, like when you bet against a game and it starts turning and you're going to lose, it felt like that times 100. Like if I had money on that game and the Lions were up by so much and you're going to lose, you just feel that it's going to come 100% unravel on you. That's how I felt watching that game. It felt like I had $1 million on the line and I knew I was going to lose the million. Like that's how it felt to me. And I knew it. I knew everything was just unraveling perfectly. It was crazy. But it was a good catch, but there was a lot of luck involved in that too. And my whole point was that we'd have to admit St. Brown got lucky too at that, if he would have caught that. But that was, look, Aiyuk did really well. Aiyuk can, you can't even guard him in a phone booth is what Debo says. And I think he's one of the best route runners in the NFL. He really is very good. He runs crispy routes. I loved him at ASU. I'm an ASU fan. I'm an ASU grad. So I love, ASU players. But I do believe that he is not a top 10 wide receiver. I know he could potentially put up those numbers and flirt with the top 10 from time to time. But again, for me, and George, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't hate your opinion. I like your opinion. Your opinion is bold. But for me, 3 of the incoming rookie wide receivers are in the top 10. There's just no room for it. But I would consider him 12 to 15, and that's elite. That's, it's near elite. That's an awesome wide receiver. That's talking about,
Well, here's the thing about that, right? A lot of those rookie wide receivers are going to go to better positions, I think, landing spots, because the thing that's holding Aiyuk back is the offense that he's in. With all those weapons, he's never going to get true wide receiver 1 numbers. He's not going to get 15 targets a game. You know what I mean?
So how's he going to be a top 5 wide receiver to you? You keep saying he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver in San Francisco.
Well, because this offense has the potential to be even better than last year. Last year they hit so many roadblocks, and they had a lot of down games. So, I'm expecting the 49ers to go.
I feel like I'm getting hit from both sides there.
13-4. 13-4 again,
George, I feel like you're talking out of both sides right now, but that's all right. George, I love you, pal. Look, there's no more real person than George. George went to a 7-Eleven to try and deposit $50 onto his PayPal so he could do the $50 challenge. Like, this guy's the real deal. I love George.
I learned that they don't take deposits after 10 p.m.
But you are talking from both sides. You just said he's not going to be, not a great place to be.
No. What I said,
top five.
What I meant was the rookie wide receivers are coming into a better shot because most of them are going to land in spots where they don't necessarily have well-equipped offenses like the 49ers.
Maybe. I think that when you really look at the landing spots, there's a danger here for one of these, maybe two of them, to land in like New York, and there's no quarterback in New York. Neighbors probably goes to New York at this current moment in time, is my projection, or maybe a Dunze does, but LAC may or may not grab Neighbors. I think LAC's got a 50% chance of grabbing a pass catcher, which is divided by Bowers and Neighbors and a Dunze. I don't even think that number 5, there's a 50% chance of Neighbors. I think it's just a 50% chance of a pass catcher. I think there's a great chance they trade down. There's a great chance they take offensive linemen, even if they don't want to grab Alt because of, position of need. There's 3-4 guys that are still capable of being grabbed right there. Doesn't mean you have to get Joe Alt. George Pickens to the moon, says DLT. Let me go over to Garrett. Garrett hasn't talked for a little bit. Garrett, you're live, and then we'll go back to George. If you got any other predictions in a second, George. Garrett, anything else?
Yeah, I had one more quick question. I didn't know if you had talked about this in a previous video about the Jaguars also being interested in Aiyuk. How there's been reports from their reporters in the past. Do you think that could be possible if they gave up a Zay Jones and pick 17 for Aiyuk? That could also be in play as well.
So that one was kind of shot down, which makes me not trust anything in that realm right now. There was reportedly, the Zay Jones, whatever deal, and then the Niners could have shot it down to that exact order of things, and maybe there was a conversation that had, but he said no, that didn't happen or whatever. I forget what the exact words were of John, or I think it was maybe Kyle Shanahan. One of them shot it down,
so
but it could have been that they shot down that exact deal, or that how it went down, or we don't fully know. But all I know is the fact that was talked about as if there was a source involved, and they're the Niners were basically no. And we even said that on the live stream. I was like, I don't know if this has legs, the whole Jacksonville Jaguar thing.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I go live on anything, because sometimes, and I'll even put question marks in my titles. I try and be totally transparent. But Jaguars wanting to trade for Aiyuk, question mark, and then we come in and we're like, here's the news. It was big, it was huge, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was not something I was fabricating, looking for clicks. It was everywhere. And I remember talking about it on the live stream. We're like, I don't know if it has legs. There's no source here. We don't know. But it ended up being shot down. And so I just don't trust that. Plus, they feel full. They feel like the gas tank is full over there in the wide receiver room in Jacksonville. Doesn't make any sense.
They got 3 good. Yeah.
It's kind of as ridiculous as maybe the Minnesota Vikings going after a wide receiver. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Or the Buffalo Bills. They're loaded. Just kidding.
No, I agree. Definitely. All right, Smitty, have a good one. Go
all right,
Pack,
later, Garrett. Buffalo is empty. Buffalo's gas tank is empty in the wide receiver room. Buffalo's going to get a Dunze, man. A Dunze or Brian Thomas Jr. or Aiyuk or Higgins. I feel it. I have that prediction on screen here. I totally believe that. Let me see if I can find that. I got it right here. I'm going to bring it back up. I think here it is. Yeah, here it is. Josh Allen will have one of Brandon Aiyuk, Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas Jr., or T. Higgins. I still feel like that's going to come true. I think it's going to be good, this one right here. Let's go back over to Ray G. Ray G, can you hear us loud and clear on the speaker?
So Jed George has a blank check for Purdy. He's going to pay him $100 million. That means that he's going to have to trade away Debo and Aiyuk. Right?
No, because Debo's already under contract. Plus, I mean, to a degree, a year out from now, they can restructure some things and figure it out. I think they really could. It'd be hard. You're kicking the can down the road, though, with a lot of things when you do that. And I don't think the Niners want to do that. They don't really they don't really build like that. The Niners very much want to know what's in front of them. They don't like to put the cart before the horse. That's why they even wait on doing the contracts, which I don't agree with to an extent with some of these when you're expecting to do it anyway. You know, like it would be one thing if they're like, let's take a look at the rookies we bring in and then we'll decide on Aiyuk. They're like, we want to bring them back. We always do a good job of bringing our guys back. We're a proven track record for that. That's what John Lynch always says. And he's right. So if you believe you're going to sign Aiyuk, and I think there's a 75% chance they give Aiyuk a contract extension, which is why I laugh in the face of anybody that says, Smitty, you're going to be wrong on this. You watch, Aiyuk's going to get a contract extension in San Francisco. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm going to be wrong on this? What's going to be funny is when you come in and we go, well, the 75% chance of him re-signing it ended up being true. Smitty, you said he was getting traded. No, I said that it feels like this percentage chance he gets traded. He gets traded. What we're doing is keeping that door a little bit more open than most people. There's a real strong shot he gets traded. But there's also a very strong shot that he gets re-signed. It's greater chance he gets re-signed than he gets traded. You know, that's just the nature of unknown situation like this, where there's so many variables involved. But yeah,
let's not forget.
Go ahead.
Greg York has screwed up things in the past before too, so we can't forget that as well. I mean, we had Jim Harbaugh 10 years ago, and he took a crap on him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jed York screwed up now too. You know what I mean?
I mean, Jed York kind of screwed up by coming out and saying that Brock's going to reset the QB market. Aren't you trying to negotiate down your contract the best of your ability? Like, what are you doing saying you can get it what's above the top one? Like, you get to jump ahead of everybody's contract, and you're going to get Mahomes got $500 million on a 10-year deal. You know, like, is he getting $54 million a season? Like, what is Purdy's contract going to look like? Why would you come out and say you're going to reset the QB market? Why would you hand him that ammunition? But let's not kid ourselves. I don't think he is. I don't think Brock Purdy plays so good he resets the QB market. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. I mean, I'm a 49er fan. And really, I don't want to see it because they screw up our whole team if it happens, you know? So,
can you imagine Brock Purdy signing a $500 million deal?
Let me ask you this. If Brock Purdy leads the 49ers to another 12-win season, another division title, a deep run in the playoffs, is he worth it?
Not the top quarterback bunny, no.
Not if we lose every other player on our team?
I mean, again, George, I don't think you agree with this, but he's propped up a little bit more than he really is right now. I'm not saying he's a total product of the offense, but, bro, he has the most weapons in the NFL. He also has a team that's aging out a little bit. Kittle's got a small window that's closing. Christian McCaffrey is on borrowed time. You don't know if he's going to finish 28-year-old season here in 2024 at the same level. You don't know where that drop-off is going to happen. He could be 2025, but you don't have the same team at all 2 years from now. You know, it's going to be very, very different. So if let's say the Niners put it all together for one more year, and it's certainly in the cards, right? You could have the windows closed a little bit, but it hasn't closed all the way. It's just gotten smaller. Your window was wide open last year, George, from the Bay. You know that. Your window was as big as my door frame, and then the thread that you were trying to throw through the eye of that needle was the size of this pen. And you could have just tossed it in, you know, without touching any of the sides of that door frame. Right now, you've got a window. Okay, it's still big. You're still a top 10 team, no doubt about it. You could be a top 5 team in the National Football League. The Niners could be easily a top 5 team if McCaffrey, Kittle, Aiyuk gets re-signed, Debo stays healthy, Trent Williams stays healthy. You guys are a top 5 team for one more year, no doubt about it. But McCaffrey gets injured. This is outside the top 8. Your team is not a top 8 team without McCaffrey. Not a chance.
CMC's our best player. If we lose him, we're not winning nothing.
That's like taking an engine out of a car and saying, hey, does this thing run? It's not even close. You're going to push that thing to the finish line? I don't think so. But
It ain't happening. Yeah.
But so my point is, okay, so let me back up. My point was that let's say this year is the year that you guys do it. You win the Super Bowl, Brock Purdy, you're going to give Brock Purdy that big contract, and then what's going to happen? The team starts falling apart. You can't afford anything anyway. Team starts falling apart, and Brock Purdy's the wasted contract of all time, the biggest waste of a contract of all time, because he's going to start playing less and less well without the same team. So is it possible he resets the market off of a big year, and he's kind of a paper tiger in a sense? Yeah. But George, he is 100% propped up to a certain level. There's no number one quarterback in this conversation. He's not a top 1, 2, 3. Like this is not Mahomes. This is not Joe Burrow. This is not even Josh Allen, obviously. This is you could argue what you want about Jalen Hurts, but it's not Jalen Hurts to me. It's not a Lamar Jackson. It's not CJ Stroud. Like after we get past those guys, I'm okay with the conversation. I still disagree for a handful of names, but I understand it and it's arguable. But resetting the QB market means he's better than all those names I just listed off. It makes no sense to give Brock Purdy top 5 quarterback money. It makes no sense. Not to mention reset the market. You giving him number 1 money? Number 1 money? Are you out of your minds? Number 1, Jed York. Reset means the top. Reset means you break the mold. You shatter the glass ceiling. Reset the quarterback market? Are you out of your minds? Not to mention, why would you telegraph that? Why wouldn't you just say, we'll see what we pay him, and then you go to the negotiation table and you go, if you really believed you're resetting the market with him, you go, let's just start off with like top 6 value. We'll give you 45. You want 50? Okay, done. Like if that's how you really felt, you're gonna really tell him, go to the very top contract, you're resetting it, let's go $1 million higher than that. What kind of negotiation tactic is that?
Because right now, how much are the 49ers paying Purdy right now?
Pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. So you pay him $50 million. It's $50 million that could have went to other players. I mean, we're going to lose those guys. So, I mean, I don't know. Jed York, it makes sense to me, though. I mean, he does stuff like that.
Yeah. What do you think about this, George from the Bay? I know you're probably stewing right now.
No. I mean, I think quarterbacks earn it if they win games, and Purdy's proven that he's a winner. I know you guys are talking about like mainly for like fantasy stats.
No. I don't think we're even having a fantasy football conversation at all yet. To be honest with you, everything has been NFL. Every single word that came out of my mouth was NFL.
Well, I think if he leads this team to 12 wins again, at least, and gets them to the playoffs, a deep run. I'm not even saying Super Bowl winning. I'm saying just getting a deep run in the playoffs. He's earned that contract. I mean,
no, he
hasn't.
hasn't.
A quarterback to lead his team to win, and I understand that he's got all those weapons. He's got McCaffrey. Yeah. I hear all that. But this kid wins games, man.
George, that doesn't mean he gets.
I love Brock Purdy.
That doesn't mean, George, he gets resetting the QB market money. If you get 12 wins, even if they win a Super Bowl, George, he doesn't deserve the number 1 quarterback money in the National Football League. He doesn't. Maybe at that point you can argue with me, and I'll say, George, he's going to fall flat a little bit once this team falls apart. I'm telling you, George, but I get it. Top 5 to 6. I get it. I understand. I wouldn't do it, but I understand. You're telling me a 12-win season off of the back of all these amazing pieces that you guys currently have that won't last long. They're going to age out really quickly. You're telling me a 12-win season gets you Mahomes money?
Yeah. CMC has had a lot to do with his success, too.
I mean,
can't forget that.
I mean, bro, can I put it this way, George? If you take Brock Purdy off of the Niners and you put him on, let's say, trying to think of another team. let's say you put him on. Let me pick a team here. Let's say
New York Giants.
Let's say you put him on the Tampa Bay Bucks with Mike Evans. You still give him a good.
Oh.
You're not seeing even. You put him on the Baltimore Ravens.
The Tampa Bay Bucks have two really good wide receivers in Godwin and Evans.
I know that's why.
I love Rachaad White. That offense has got pieces. That's why Baker did so well.
That's why I tried to pick an offense that wasn't. I didn't want to put them in the exact same situation because I'm trying to prove a point that you give them a little bit lesser of an offense. One that did very well. They made the playoffs. They were a good team. You put Brock Purdy on the Tampa Bay Bucks, and he'll be unrecognizable. When I say that, I don't mean that in a flattering way. I think he would look a lot like. He would look a lot more lost. He's a very smart kid, no doubt about it. And he picked up that offense. I'll give Brock Purdy his flowers. When he stepped in, it was like he had been playing in Shanahan's offense for years. He knew everything. And that was really impressive. And he navigates the pocket very, very well. But whenever a piece is missing, like Trent Williams, like Debo, like Christian McCaffrey, he's a different player. Every time. So my point is not that he's a bad player. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be the starter in San Francisco when your team starts to fall apart a little bit as it ages out. But he will not be the same player is what I'm trying to say, because we've seen it over and over and over.
Put him on Chicago.
Well, Chicago would fail almost anybody, bro. You could put Josh Allen there and he'd start struggling. Like you would still believe in Josh Allen, but he'd start losing and he wouldn't. Like Chicago's a disaster. They're a disaster.
But Josh Allen has a skill set where he could take over a game all by himself. So Purdy doesn't have those kind of skills. Yeah, he's athletic. He can scramble a little bit, but he's not a Josh Allen type scrambler.
Yeah,
that's the reason why I was saying. Like, I think if the 49ers are going to give Brock Purdy a whole bunch of money, they might have to trade Debo and Aiyuk and get young receivers because that's all they can afford if they're going to give him all the money, right?
Hey, here's the other thing. Let me reverse this because I think it was Garrett's comment that triggered this. Then I got two super chats. Let me put these two super chats on screen. Call your boy Loud with a $5 holler. John dropping a $2 holler. I'm coming for your super chats right now. Hang tight real quickly, guys. Let me just make this point before I forget. Garrett made a comment that triggered something I wanted to say. The best way to put this is not where you put Brock Purdy, right? Because then you got all these variables involved that are hard to measure and match up. Even the Tampa Bay thing felt awkward to say. You put Josh Allen on the Niners, they win a Super Bowl instantly. And he has the best statistical year he's ever had in his life. You put Jalen Hurts on the Niners, instantly win a Super Bowl. You put Lamar Jackson on the Niners, you instantly win a Super Bowl. So that's kind of how I think you can measure Brock Purdy, is reverse engineer that. At some point we'll stop saying that, and that's where Brock Purdy is right on that verge, because you put Brock Purdy on the Niners, you're not guaranteed anything. You're guaranteed a very good team and a very good shot at making a Super Bowl. But like once you start putting these other players like Lamar, like Tom Brady even, coming out of retirement, you put any of these players on this Niners team, the Niners are so good from top to bottom, they instantly win a Super Bowl in year one. That's the best way to measure Brock Purdy, is what going in that direction. Josh Allen would win a Super Bowl in year one. No doubt about it in my mind. Lamar would win a Super Bowl instantly as a 49er.
Oh, yeah, he would be on one of the best defensive teams he's ever played for, too,
The best overall. That's what Brock Purdy's dealing with, though. That's my whole point. John says Purdy's numbers are almost identical to Jimmy G's, says John. I don't know if that's entirely true, actually, because Purdy had some really, high numbers in certain categories that were nearly league leading. But I will say that Jimmy Garoppolo played on a much higher, almost mask his deficiencies level, right? And people thought he was good. And I come in here and tell everybody how bad he was. He goes to the Raiders, you see it. The lights come on at the club, you see what Jimmy G really looks like when the lights get turned on. I feel like Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I'm not trying to crap on him at all, but he's in San Francisco. If he, like I said, if you switch out Allen, Hurts, Lamar, Joe Burrow. Like, imagine Joe Burrow with the Niners. Like, can you, George?
Oh, yeah.
George, if I gave you Joe Burrow, do you win this 2024 season?
Oh yeah, we three-peat.
Okay, so do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if I give you Josh Allen, are you winning?
Of course.
Okay, so aren't you answering your own question? If I give you Brock Purdy, you believe you're going to win, but I don't think you're saying of course. You're saying of course to 4, 5, 6 names probably. You're not saying of course to Brock Purdy. You're saying I think we could win with Brock Purdy. Therefore, in my objective opinion, and I believe in your disguised opinion, you believe Brock Purdy's worth 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quarterback money, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 money.
Yeah.
Court closed. Case dismissed. Without prejudice.
So he's a glorified game manager.
And Joe Burrow is probably my favorite quarterback because he's the only one that's beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs other than Tom Brady. So.
To be honest with you, I'm not trying to brag on that, but I think that was the best breakdown that an argument you could make to a Niner fan. Because I really believe that if you presented all of that to a Niner fan right there, they would be like, yeah, you Joe Burrow will win a championship, that's for sure. Okay, so you go through about 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterback names like that, and then you ask them, is Brock Purdy really deserving of resetting the quarterback market? The answer is no. Is he worth the 6 to 10? It depends on your preference. Let me go to rock out.
Well, let's not forget what the Niners did to Jimmy Garoppolo when he had that big run and they paid him. I mean, he pretty much reset the market. You know, was he worth that? Probably not.
Who?
I don't think so.
Who was? What?
Remember when they signed Jimmy Garoppolo to that $100 million deal right after they traded for
bro,
him?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. And then he got injured the next year. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to rock out. Let me go to rock out real quick. Rock out real quick. Rock out your life. Hello? Rock out?
Yeah, you're on mute.
I think Purdy is above average QB.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
He's like a great. I wouldn't say game manager.
I'd say
but
he's good.
A product of.
I'd say he's way above average. I'd say he's really good. Yeah, but it's okay if you think he's just above average. I'm just trying to clarify if people don't think I hate him.
He's in that like probably bottom of like I don't know, like in the top 12 somewhere.
And I'm fine with that. I don't disagree with that. I think there are very few this says something very good about Brock Purdy. There are very few quarterbacks that could have stepped in like Purdy did when he finally got the start and just taken over full control. And he knew every play. He wasn't ready. No one's ready to come in when an injury happens. He was so ready. Like that screams that there's amazing attributes about this kid. And for anybody to say I'm a hater, I say a lot of positive things about Brock Purdy. But he does not deserve top 5 quarterback money, let alone resetting the quarterback market. And I just proved it. Because when I ask questions to a diehard Niner fan who loves Brock Purdy as much as anybody, if you would win a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow, his answer is, oh, hell yeah, 3 of them. Okay, so how is Brock Purdy resetting the quarterback market? I don't get it. Now, some could say because it needs to go up, and then Joe Burrow should go above him after that, et cetera, et cetera. But Burrow just signed his deal. You can't. There's no argument here. No Niner fan can argue this with me right now. If you want to say he's worth top 6 to 10, 7 to 12 quarterback money, I'm gonna let you slide on that one because that's preference.
I think the top 6 to 10 is fair, actually.
Ron, are you asleep or are you there? Ron Navy.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm just listening.
I didn't know you were very quiet. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add. I didn't know if there's any other Steeler buzz going on that you were reading right now. Let me refresh all my sources here. I don't see anything.
Well, the thing is if they let's say they pass on Aiyuk and Higgins and they don't get a receiver, their plans on the 20 pick is probably going to be going after that big offensive tackle.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I love that people. I'm reading some of the older comments of when we started the live stream, and this comment right here is hilarious. What does a Denver guy know about Brandon Aiyuk? And I'm not saying that isn't a fair question, I suppose, but it's so funny how this goes for any fan base, not just Niner fans or anything. It goes for the Eagle fan base. It goes for anybody. It's so funny that if something doesn't fit a narrative that a fan wants, it's like it can't be objective, it can't be correct. Like, he's an NFL reporter. Like, he's not, just because he's in Denver doesn't mean he doesn't report on stuff, and doesn't mean he doesn't have connections to people, that are moved on to different organizations. And it's like, when you have Schefter and Rappaport retweeting you on pretty regular occurrence, then you probably have connections. You probably have a little bit more connections than the average person. I don't pretend to have these connections that exceed like guys like that. I don't. I don't care about that. I don't want to be the guy that breaks the news. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, they've kind of grown tired of being the news breakers, and they're trying to become the interpreters. And Rappaport's really bad about distinguishing when he's giving you an opinion or when he's breaking a piece of news. Sometimes he blurs the lines and he'll make a really bad call. And I'm not saying I get everything right. I don't think that at all. But I enjoy what I do. I don't need to be. I'm not trying to work to become the news breaker. I like coming in and having conversations and breaking it down and being right, being wrong, making bold predictions, making guesses, educated guesses. That's what I enjoy doing. I don't pretend to do anything else. And when people say that I'm out here spreading fake news, they clearly don't get what my objective or role is in all of this. I have no desire to be the one to drop the news when it happens. I mean, occasionally I have. I remember I was given some. This is back when there was no social media, really. Michael Turner was 2010, I think, or 2008. But I had it on tremendously connected authority that Michael Turner was, I think it was the Titans, was being traded to the Tennessee Titans to start. And he was a backup. And Michael Turner was getting traded to the Tennessee Titans. I believe it was the Titans. And I announced it. And back then he announced it on what? I announced it on my website and my forum and everything. But it tried to catch fire. And it ended up getting reversed for whatever reason. I think it missed, if I remember correctly, I think it missed the deadline. And so the trade didn't happen, and he had to wait a full year as a backup before he could get the starting job again or get a trade. And I remember breaking that, and I had that information because I knew somebody who was very connected to that situation. Very rarely do I feel like I could ever truly be the originating source of a piece of news. It might happen once in every 10 years that you get handed something like that. It would probably be in Arizona for me, because of the closeness I have to those situations. But I have no desire to be that. I'm here to give you my opinion and have fun breaking down and projecting. Call Your Boy Loud says, Smitty doing it live like nobody else. You possibly doing any of those custom underdog drafts tonight? Let me see if I can create a slow draft. They didn't have them the other day. Maybe they got them going on right now. So let me go to that. Let me go over to George from the Bay. George, you got anything you want to add on any of this?
Yes, Smitty, I'm looking at the quarterback contracts right now, and I can see him slotting in somewhere above Kyler Murray and probably right around the Hurts contract, somewhere around $250 million total value. But that would still be top five. So I don't think he would reset the quarterback because, Joe Burrow's getting $275 million. I don't think he's going to get that.
Yeah, he better not. My fear for you.
Unless,
he win a Super Bowl.
not unless the Niners become the new Cleveland Browns.
I mean, my fear for you, bro, is that you guys do win the Super Bowl. You'll be so happy and ecstatic you won't care at that point, right? Give them whatever. That you just don't see the same player once it all starts kind of becoming not above average team, but a little bit, less explosive. Not to mention, you've lost Adam Peters, which is a big reason you've got a lot of the talent that you have, and it might take a couple years for that talent to, age out. And you're not going to replenish, I believe, you're not going to replenish those talent pools quite as much. Maybe you will. Maybe you find the right guy. Maybe Shanahan has been a big part of some of the Peters moves, and Peters is taking credit for it or giving credit for it. But I do know that Peters was asked about his time now in Washington at the the combine, I think, and he said something, or no, maybe it was the Super Bowl. I forget where. I think it was at the Super Bowl. And they asked him a question about quarterback, and he goes, now I got to go find another Brock Purdy. And the way he worded it was how much involvement he had in the way I took it anyway, and the way people talked about it after, that he must have had a big, heavy hand in Brock Purdy. Not to mention, it was always unsaid thing, like everybody knew it, that he was more involved in the later picks, and Shanahan would make the early first and like sometimes second round decisions. And I'm sure Peters had influence, but when it got deep, it was all Adam Peters. So Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. So you tell me, if Adam Peters was constantly considered the late round guy, the George Kittle, he found George Kittle, all these players Adam Peters is finding, you're telling me that the last pick in the draft wasn't a big part of that wasn't Adam Peters? So Adam Peters saved Shanahan's job. George, Shanahan would have been fired after this season had Brock Purdy not been found.
Actually, Brock Purdy saved his job.
True. Both of them did.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I don't see any slow drafts. Why aren't the slow drafts available when I create this? Let me see here. Why can't I create a slow draft? 12 person. I don't know why. They're not available at the current moment. I'm trying to create a slow draft, but I can't. I mean, I guess we could do one real quickly. I don't know that I'll finish the entire draft on here, but we'll do a 12-team private draft. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, or can match it up to $100. I believe that's still going on. And here's the link right here. So click this link right here or enter code Smitty, and you could get up to $100 of your first deposit. And we'll all draft live in this draft right now. So punch that button, do it live. Appreciate you all in here. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. There it is at the top of the screen. Links in the live chat to get into this specific draft. The link is in the live chat. What else we got? Who else is on the phone here? Ray G, you got anything else you want to add, bro?
yeah, just one last thing. What do you think the Chiefs are going to do with Irv Smith? How do you think they'll use him?
I don't know. I'm not sure, bro.
Irv Smith's a bust. Everywhere he goes, he was supposed to be great for Minnesota, and then he wasn't and injured. And then he was supposed to have a second.
I don't think Kelsey's, dropping off the face of the earth. We need 5 more to start. Guys, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. The link I just dropped in the live chat, I'll drop it one more time. This gets you into this specific draft. And while this is not a big board where there's thousands of dollars in prizes, this is a smaller league. And basically, we'll go through the entire season together, and you can try and beat me. And if you do enough of these, we do a lot of them, you're going to win like $10, $15, $20 here and there, and they all add up. And at the end of the year, I did so many of these like $12 or $3 drafts, $4 drafts where you win like 20 or 30 bucks for first or whatever it is. I won so many of these, and I did lose a lot too. Obviously you don't win everything, but I ended up making like $400, $500 more than I spent on these specific small drafts. So I urge you all to get in a bunch of these. It's really fun. Somebody was calling in, and I tried to add him, and it didn't come through. I think it was Rob. Rob, try dialing in again. 4 more to start this draft. Hit that link. I just dropped it in the live chat. I'm going to pin it right this very second. Join this draft with us right now. I'm sorry, who was talking right now? Was it Ray G? What did you say?
No, I was just saying about Irv Smith, but he's always injured.
Oh, yeah.
He has a talent to be a good player, but he's never healthy. So I was just wondering what the Chiefs are going to do with him.
Yeah, not a big fan.
Also, do you think T.J. Hawkinson is a good midseason monster?
Maybe.
If he gets a quarterback?
I don't know. Maybe. I think coming back from an ACL tear as a bigger guy, I mean, he's not a huge guy, but just like he's, I don't know. I think he's going to probably have like a slow year. And I think that it depends on who the quarterback is. If it's Penix Jr., then I'm okay with that. I don't think I'm like touting it. I don't think I'm expecting it, but it certainly could be in the cards. He could be a midseason monster, but I don't think I'll put him on my list. But certainly potential. We got Tebow in here. We got Rockout. We got GDL or GDLT. We got I don't know who that is. Isaac. I don't know. Orion, I think it was, and then Lad something. RDJ's in the house. We've got Train. Let's see. George from the Bay's in the building here. We got Trojan. We got Superfish, and then I'm at the 12 pick. So draft begins in 22 seconds. If anybody missed out on this, just click the link and join another one and draft alongside of us. It'll be fun. I've got Rob on the line. Rob, you are live, young man.
Smitty. I just wanted to get in here on this talk about Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, man, because I think people, they a little bit too hyped on Brock Purdy. I'm a Niners fan, bro, and I've been a Niners fan for a very long time. I'm going to tell you like this. When you got Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Aiyuk, and you got the best play caller in the league right now. Well, one of the best, if not the best, outside of Sean McVay and maybe a couple others that's in competition with him. Bro, it's easy for you to just dump it down. And all of these guys that you throwing to, they yak monsters. So, yeah, they going to make your stats look good. But look at what he do when any of those guys miss games, man. He don't play good. And my whole thing was with Brock Purdy is they really never gave Trey Lance a chance to win that job. They said they would, but in all honesty, after they went on that playoff run, after Lance got hurt, after that second game, and we never really got to see him play, they gave up on him. When they never should have drafted him in the first place. They should have drafted Justin Fields in the first place. Had they drafted Justin Fields, I feel like his career outlook would have been completely different right now.
You're speaking truth, bro.
All those weapons around. Yeah, you put all those weapons around Justin Fields, man, that take that offense to a completely different level. See, I'm an Ohio State fan too, so I got to see Justin Fields play in college. I watched all of his games. I watched him in high school.
It's crazy how
that
people
guy, before he was even a runner, he was a pass first type player.
Isn't it crazy how
Ohio
people act like he? Isn't it crazy how people act like he can't throw the ball at all? Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy to me because I used to get frustrated at Ohio State because he didn't run. He never ran the ball. If you go back and watch any of the college games, like he'll run here and there, but Justin Fields was a pass first quarterback when he played for Ohio State. That dude put up insane numbers. You got to go back and watch. See, I've been watching him since the QB1 series. You know, I follow a lot of the high school recruitment, and I'm a big Ohio State fan, man. So I got to see this guy play throughout his whole career, man. He's always been a pass first player.
Yeah,
he didn't start running until he got with the Bears. But look who he had to throw to. Mooney was his receiver one, and then he had Cole Kmet, and he got average running backs at best. You give that guy Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon
I know.
Ayuk, George Kittle, Trent Will, bro, come on.
And that's what I'm saying to George from the Bay. I could even I don't know if George would agree with this, but I would even say that you put, like you just said, you put Fields on the Niners, you win a Super Bowl. but I know George might draw the line. George might draw the line there, and that's fine. That's preference. But I mean, everything you just said, I've been spitting for months, bro. Like we're in agreement.
Actually,
on.
no, I wanted the 49ers to take Fields in that draft when they took Lance.
So would you, if you could trade Fields for Brock Purdy right now, would you?
Yeah, without hesitation.
George would, at least George is being honest. But it's like, George, you're telling me you're going to reset the quarterback market with a guy you take 10 quarterbacks over.
Fields brings an element to the quarterback position that Brock Purdy does not. He can win games.
I
with his legs.
I agree with you, George. I'm just saying, like, you're arguing that Brock Purdy should and could reset the quarterback market, and I've literally given you like 8 to 10 quarterbacks you like more than him. Right. And again, this is all stuff. This is all stuff, Rob, that I've been floating out for months, and people don't agree with me, but Rob and I agree on everything he said because exactly what I've said for months. I think that Brock Purdy is who he is, though. Like right now in this moment in time, especially walking into 2024, he's going to play well, and the problem is he's going to be in a sense propped up, coming off of potentially a big 2024. And he may reset the QB market. And it's unfortunate for the Niners because they're going to break the bank on a guy that you don't know what he's going to look like when the lights come on. Because like Jimmy Garoppolo was propped up big time. And everybody thought he was better than he was. So it's not that will necessarily go away, but it's certainly not going to be at the same level. As I've said over and over, and like Rob just said, the moment McCaffrey's out, Trent Williams is out, Debo's out, guy turns into not a pumpkin, but he turns into a normal average quarterback every time. Every time.
It's the reason why he was drafted last. That's the reason, man. That's not a mistake that he was the last person taken in the draft. That was never a mistake. Go back and watch his Iowa State tape, man. It's the reason why he was drafted the last player off the board. He honestly wouldn't start in any other situation. He lucked up. I'm not mad that he got a shot. He's been playing good, but I think the Niners really choked when they didn't give Lance a chance after. They could have just stayed where they was at in the draft, drafted Fields, kept those first-round picks.
Where's Denny?
And the team is just completely better.
Where's Denny when we need him? Mr. TD says, call him Brock Steady. Brock Steady. Steady. Rockin' all night long. We need Denny in here to sing this one. Denny, if you're out there, we need a couple bars, bro. Or Rock Out's in here, isn't he? Rock Out, can we get a Brock Steady?
All of the Niners fans, man, I would say, you got to really look at the situation. They traded 3 first-round picks to move up for Lance. Never gave that guy a chance when they should never drafted him in the first place.
I agree.
He was clearly the better prospect.
Hey, Rock Out.
Heads and shoulders.
Send me a Brock Steady on Instagram if you want.
All right.
You know that song, right? Rock Steady. Rock Steady. Steady rocking all night long. You know what I'm talking about, Rock Out, or no?
I think that's why they love Brock so much, because they're like,
I'm not sure.
He's pretty good. They got all these little catchphrases that make them like him more.
Yeah.
But he's actually not that
all right,
good.
Hey, Rob, congrats, spitting fire tonight. Anything else I can help you with, bro?
Oh no, man! I just wanted to chime
in.
Hey,
you can hang out right there. Let me go over to Ron Navy. Ron Navy has anything to add while I draft real quick. Ron, go ahead. Shoot your stuff. God, what do I do here? Do I go? I'm gonna go Laporta, and I'm gonna go. God, this is early, but I'm not gonna get him back. Damn it! I hate doing this early. I don't want to mess with this ADP too much. But I mean, he's the best. Damn it! I don't follow my lead on this one. But
Roma Dunze.
No, I didn't. No, I went Mahomes.
Oh.
So Puka, Kyron, Laporta, Mahomes, straight fire. I don't care if Mahomes is early. In this draft with these individuals, there's no way Mahomes is lasting long at all. He'll go in the next 7 picks. So I was reaching, but at the same time, I don't care. So that team's straight fire. Puka, Kyron, Laporta.
Well, I'm glad that you took Mahomes there.
That's insane. Ron, did you fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look. Rob was saying, Ron and I've been saying for weeks now that Fields is gonna prove all of these doubters wrong. He's gonna walk into this situation with his back against the wall. He's gonna rip the job from Russell Wilson's imaginary friends, kung fu grip, and Russell's gonna be just petrified, looking over his shoulder. And once Fields gets this job and starts throwing missiles to Pickens, and you start questioning, when people start questioning how they said this guy can't throw, he's proven it time and time again. He's just been in a horrible situation. One of the years, which didn't even match what Rob said, where Rob's like, he's got Mooney. There was the year before this past year, they cut the team down to the bare bones, got rid of everybody and injured players. He had janitors on the roster he was throwing to. I couldn't even list all the wide receivers by name that this guy was throwing to that was that thinned out. And he was asked to do it all, carried the team on his shoulders, and literally injured himself. And I blame Poles for that. I said when Poles did that, if this guy gets hurt, it's on Poles, because Poles set him out there with no protection, no supporting cast, nothing. And everybody judges Fields. That's why half the fan base was torn, and they didn't want to see Fields go, because now they're building around the quarterback. The moment they get rid of Justin Fields, are you out of your mind? Now they're even talking about drafting Roma Dunze. Like, are you kidding me? You don't get Fields anything. I mean, yeah, he got DJ Moore. I get it. And look what he did with him. You give him one weapon, he turns him into a floating top 5 to 10 wide receiver in fantasy. That's how much that Fields fed him. Imagine if you just built the entire team around Fields.
He had DJ Moore for 1 year.
I can't wait.
And the left tackle was injured. Offensive lineman, they had key offensive lineman that was hurt.
I can't wait.
Just to put that in there.
I can't wait. I know Ron's excited too. Pickens to the moon. And the Steelers may get another receiver, as we've been pointing out all night with the Higgins and the Aiyuk conversation, and then if not, rookie wide receiver. So Matt O says, as a Bears fan, ugh, and I have been getting a lot of hey Smitty, you're gonna be wrong on Caleb. You'll see. Other people, other content creators are saying he's the number one. Like, there's some guy in my comments, and he's not going to last long at the rate he's going. He's in my comments responding to, like, everybody going, go watch this tape on whatever. Go watch what this person says on Caleb. Don't listen to Smitty. You do that, you're going to be, like, don't think that that's something acceptable behavior. He's out there trying to just, tear down everything I'm saying on Caleb. No one cares, number one, but that's not an appropriate way to attempt it in the comments. But this guy continues to go at everybody saying, don't listen to Smitty on JD5. He's going to be wrong on JD5. Caleb's the real deal. Caleb's the real deal. We'll see what Chicago does. Chicago does not develop quarterbacks. And there's a reason half the fan base, I believe the most intelligent part of the fan base, wanted to play it out with Fields. Draft Marvin Harrison Jr., trade down a little bit, draft Marvin Harrison Jr., give MHJ and DJ Moore to Fields, build around that with the other components in draft selections, number 9 overall, maybe even another pick, because you're going to move down from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, right? And potentially get more draft capital. Build around MHJ, DJ Moore, Fields, and Swift, and try and do it that way. No, instead, what do? Bring in Shane Waldron, and it's just it's a mess in the making. Ron,
it seems like the average fan could build a team better than most of these GMs. Just you saying it that way, that's exactly how I pictured it. But I feel like they flopped. They really flopped on not drafting. They could have traded back and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. and then they was having offensive lineman return, man, that team would have been fired.
And Keenan Allen turns.
DJ Moore and Marvin on the outside would have been nice.
Keenan Allen turns 32 this year. Are we really expecting Keenan Allen to last all year long? It could happen. There's a world where it happens, but it's highly unlikely. Like, Diggs dropped off at 30, okay? Diggs is turning 31 this season, I believe. Diggs dropped off at 30. Cooper Kupp dropped off at 30. Yeah, Keenan Allen did outshine them by doing well at 31 or turning 31. He turns 32 years old this year. I don't understand how this quarterback, Caleb, is. If they drafted Dunze or Neighbors or something like that, Brian Thomas Jr., then it is a better setup for him for sure. And I think that he could deliver fantasy points. I think that you would see a similar outcome on Fields, though. A lot of scoring and stuff like that. But then, like, how does the team win? How do they look? Does Caleb win the big games? Does he lose, even though they're throwing a lot of yardage and touchdowns or whatever? But if they don't give him a Dunze, if the Bears, and I believe the Bears are very capable of crapping the bet on that, and I hope they do, because I don't really want a Dunze there. If they go ahead and trade down or do something different with that pick, and you think that DeAndre Swift, who's been abused by the Eagles between the tackles, and an old 32-year-old Keenan Allen, who was great last year, no doubt about it, but he's 32 years old, and DJ Moore without Fields, and Cole Kmet without Fields, you think this is the best setup a rookie's ever been handed? I don't think so. I think this is a paper tiger right here. I think the Chicago Bears are going to rinse and repeat what they always do, which is fail their quarterback. And you bring in Shane Waldron to do it. I don't, like I always say, he's like a great math teacher that you brought into Harvard to teach trigonometry. Like, there's nothing wrong with him.
You were big on Chicago last year. You were giving them the benefit of the doubt with Fields.
Well,
you had a lot of confidence, and Chicago would win the North.
I thought Fields would overcome it. But regardless, watching what they did with him and watch how they've treated him and watch how they've turned away from him, I have zero belief that this is the top level decision-making group that's going to turn it all around. Everybody gets turned around at some point. Look at the Bengals. The Bengals are the Bengals. They'll always be the Bengals. No, the Lions are the Lions. They'll always be. At some point, you get turned around, right? You get the right people in place. Houston Texans, as soon as Nick Caserio got there, we knew it was going to change, and touted that on this channel over and over and over. The moment they got rid of Deshaun Watson, this guy knows what he's freaking doing. He's going to create a absolute marvel with this team. I have zero belief in Ryan Poles doing this, and we'll see what happens. If Ryan Poles screws this up, I believe he gets 1 or 2 years with this, unless Caleb absolutely craps the bed so hard, which I don't think he'll do that. I really think he'll just not live up to expectation. But if Ryan Poles craps the bed, he's gone. But I think that had he crapped the bed with Fields again, and I think he would have, then he would have been gone right away after 1 year. Now he kind of bought himself time. He kind of bought himself 2 years to really try and show what he can do with Caleb. And if he doesn't do it in 2 years, which I don't think he will, because he's got Shane Waldron, math teacher extraordinaire in high school, I think he's going to be gone in 2 years. But I can't stand the narrative that Poles is he's done an amazing job and pulled off one of the best trades in the history of NFL draft trading. It's a ridiculous narrative because it involves him giving up Stroud. So I don't want to have the conversation about it being Bryce Young. It was Stroud. It was Stroud.
Yeah, he gave up a second for Claypool.
Yeah, if that followed. That definitely followed. I will say the Keenan Allen trade was very, very crafty. I just don't know that it's going to end up delivering what people think. It was God. That was a good trade. But what was Harbaugh doing? Like, why would Harbaugh give away Keenan? I'd rather, if I was Harbaugh, let the wheels fall off. Because you might get half a year out of it. You don't really know. But why Harbaugh gave him away for a lukewarm ham sandwich is beyond me. That was the stupidest trade. So that was a good
Maybe
one.
Harbaugh felt like he was getting ready to fall off the cliff. I mean, he is a 32-year-old receiver.
Right, but a ham sandwich.
And he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, but you let the wheels fall off. You really do. I mean, you could say got rid of the contract. There could be some other things you could argue, but at the end of the day, it was still a very stupid move. That one can't.
Maybe Harbaugh is going to go against what we think and actually draft a receiver. Maybe he will get Neighbors or Marvin Harrison. Maybe that's his plan all along.
Maybe, or he stays the course and continues to shock everybody, and everybody thinks they know what Harbaugh's going to do because they would do it, and Harbaugh doesn't do it. 93 thumbs up. Hit that thumb up button. Rock out. What else you got?
That's it for right now.
Here's my squad so far. Mahomes, Kyron, Ramondre. I think Ramondre is a big bounce back candidate. Not a lock, but a great grab, especially at an ADP of 82.3. I got him at 85. That's zero risk territory. Ramondre could be a top 6 to 10 running back, but you know you're paying for a little. You're factoring in some risk. Puka, Hollywood, T. Higgins, and Hopkins. Laporta. That's a pretty solid squad. Mahomes, Kyron, Stevenson, Puka, Hollywood, T. Higgins, Hopkins, Laporta. I like it.
Oh, that sounds like a league winner, bro.
I like it. Let's see. George from the Bay. Any final thoughts, bro? I'm gonna cycle everybody off the phone line. George, go. You got a final 30 seconds. Speak your mind.
No, like I was saying earlier, I think if they are going to re-sign Purdy, they're going to put him right in that market of the Jalen Hurts, maybe even a little bit more than 51 average, so maybe 52. But he's not going to get more than Lamar, that's for sure.
But Jed York's saying reset the quarterback market, though.
Yeah, he's full of it.
Okay, so you think that Purdy doesn't come out firing? Maybe I'm not saying you don't win or anything, but he doesn't come out proving to be the number one quarterback in your eyes, so like he doesn't get that. I wouldn't.
Well, no, I made my point earlier. You know, I think he wins games. He deserves to get paid a lot, but you know, he's not like those big names that you've already mentioned. Like he's not a Burrow. He's not.
But Jed York
hurts.
Jed York is the one given the blank check though, and he says he is. But we'll see. We'll see how Jed feels after. Maybe
well,
he's.
The other thing you have to remember too. This is only his first season starting a full season. You know what I mean? Let's see how he does this year.
I agree.
You know.
So why is your owner saying we're gonna have to give him a blank check? We're gonna have to give him reset the quarterback money. Why is Jed York saying that?
Jed York is an idiot. Okay.
Fair enough. Hey, thank you, George from the Bay. George is a real one. We love George. He brings some objectivity, I believe, to the Niner angle. So thank you, George. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it. See you later.
He always answers honestly too. You know, he if you ask him a question, he answers honestly. Rob, final 30 seconds. Go.
I'm going to just go off of what George said. If the Niners do that, if the Niners fan get ready to go back to how I was in the early 2000s when we was a bad team. Because if they do that, if they give Purdy that kind of money, bro, you can chalk it up right now. It's over with. That means we don't get to sign none of the actual key players. The players that actually matter, like Fred Warner, Trent Williams about to be retired. How they going to replace him? Kittle was off, and he's towards the end of his career. They obviously having problems with Aiyuk right now. Debo is close to the end of his career. CMC is out the door soon. Bro, they give Purdy that type of money, that team is going to be suffering for a long time.
Yeah, can you imagine, bro?
It's not about to be the same Niners team in the NFC Championship every year.
And even more of a concern, can you imagine giving Brock Purdy that money after you failed Trey Lance and give up all the draft capital and sold the farm for Trey? Like, you make two bad quarterback moves in a row like that. Jeez, man.
And not win one Super Bowl. That's tough.
If it's me, and this is the part that makes me not like Shanahan as a head coach. If Tom Brady picked up the phone right now, and he did this last year, and he says, I want to come win a Super Bowl, it's not even considered. And I understand where Niner fans coming from. We just made the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy's getting into his own. You know, this is our long-term answer. Why would we put that guy on the back burner, ruin his confidence to bring Brady in? But the problem is this was on the table allegedly last year. And the problem is Shanahan refuses to want somebody that knows as much as Brady into that quarterback room. He's petrified of that. He wants yes men. He wants people that he can control, and Tom Brady wouldn't be that guy. And that's what makes me feel like the Niners will always be one step, missing. That top level of the staircase, you're just going to be one step short, is because Shanahan just doesn't have, I believe, the personnel decision making. And especially in the big games, can anybody argue that Shanahan didn't play 3 horrible games or 3 bad games in a row? The Green Bay game, the Detroit.
The Lions handed them that game. They wasn't even supposed to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Lions punted that game. That was insane. And it was like, I tried to be objective about it. If the Detroit Lions had come back like that, we'd be, because we're big Detroit Lion fantasy football fans in here. There's so many of those players we love. So I'm objective about that. I mean, it would have been a victorious, amazing victory instead of being a lucky win. I get it. But, I mean, God, I don't know. All right, hey, appreciate you, Rob. We'll see you later, bro. Call in anytime. Later. Marsman Rockout. Final thoughts, my guy.
Purdy's above average QB, but could probably maybe get like 35, 40 million. No big contract though.
Wow. Rockout saying, hell no, I'm not doing it. Jed York says he will, but maybe Jed York is going to change his mind. Maybe, if Brock Purdy goes out and has a mediocre year, he's not getting that money, and Rockout's correct. If he goes out and wins the Super Bowl, they'll be forced to pay him top 5, 6 money, no doubt about it. But will he hold out for number 1 money? I don't know. But a Super Bowl will paint a different picture for him. I think it won't be smart, but it'll certainly build a avenue for him to get top 5, top 6 money if they win a Super Bowl. But if they fall short, very short, even if they make the playoffs and lose in round 1, make the playoffs, lose in round 2, Brock Purdy will not have earned top 5 quarterback money. He will have earned 7 to 12. Rock out. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
Oh, did you send me that or no? I don't think you know the song, huh? Steady, YouTube steady rocking all night long. Yeah, YouTube steady rocking all night long. Rock steady. You should know this. Rock out. Your name's Rock Out. It's an old song. But we need that Brock Purdy rocking all night long. Old school song. Ron Navy, you're live. Final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. No. I just think that probably within, maybe not tomorrow, maybe Monday or Tuesday, I think we get big breaking news about Aiyuk.
Mm-hmm. Definitely on the card, in the cards.
Or right before the draft.
Yeah, this week it feels like it's coming.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Aiyuk will be wearing the gold and black.
I like riddle me this, riddle me that. Aiyuk will be wearing that Steeler hat. All right.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we'll see you, Ron. Appreciate you. Prayers up for prayers up for the Navy family in the chat, please. If you guys could drop some. Thank you, Ron. We'll see you.
Yes.
Oh, call back, Ron. I hit the button on accident. Call back, Ron. I'm sorry. Call back. As a Packer fan and owner, I've watched. Oh, Packer fan. He's an owner because he's got season tickets. He's part owner. I've watched Fields play tons. The guy can ball and has improved as a passer. Chicago will have egg on their face. I agree with Coble. Coble, appreciate you, bro. Coble to the moon. Ron, dial in. I didn't mean to hang up on you so quickly. You were talking, and there's a little bit of a delay. Rock steady. Steady rocking all night long. Rock out. Rock steady. I want that song, Rock Out. I need it. Brock Purdy. I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna give everybody an update. We had a really serious conversation. We got hospice in here, and they're making her feel okay.
I'm sorry,
She
Ron.
doesn't want to go through any more chemo. She doesn't want to go through all that. So, yeah, we're at that point, and I'm not going to force her to do something she don't want to do. I just
prayers up, guys.
It's hard, but her wishes are her wishes.
Sorry, Ron. Prayers up for Ron Navy, guys, in the chat. I can't even imagine. I can't even
it's
fathom.
In God's hands. It's in God's hands, and I'm not angry at God. I'm not angry at anything. It's in God's hands. So, and in the end, we'll be together, and we're gonna enjoy what time we have. It's better than her maybe doing the chemo, which is an extreme form, and it making her feel worse and going through hell. This way, it's her decision. So that's where we're at.
Prayers up, guys. Sorry, Ron. I don't even know what to say. Saying anything would just, I don't even know what to say. So
we're coming to terms with it, and I got to be strong for her, and that's just what it's life. I mean, what can you do? It's just, yeah, I'm sad, but we're gonna enjoy what we have, left. So that's what we're gonna do. But I love everybody. I love you, Smitty. I love the chat. And
yep, we got your back, bro. Call in anytime. We're here for you. I know that sometimes you need an outlet, so I try to be that for everybody. So hopefully, you can come here to get your mind cleared. And
it is. I love this community, and so this community's been great. Everybody's been really awesome, and that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for.
Prayers up, guys, for Miss Navy and for Ron. All right, Ron, call in tomorrow, pal.
We'll do. We'll
all
talk
right.
to everybody.
Appreciate
later.
you. Keep the prayer emojis coming for the next, I don't know, the remainder of the show. That's awful. Coble, appreciate that. You're the man. Keep those prayer emojis coming in. Appreciate you all. Appreciate Ron. Appreciate everybody here. And we'll be back tomorrow, probably with some sort of breaking news somewhere. I don't know if you guys are following the news. I've had the news up in the corner. Crazy times right now as well. On top of all that, war breaking out. I'll be watching this probably all night and creating content hopefully for you guys. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be dropping, keep them prayer emojis coming, please, for Miss Navy. Let's send Miss Navy to Saturn. I think that's more than appropriate.
To Saturn.
Keep them coming. And I'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, which is when news breaks. Same bat channel, which is the main channel. I didn't do Dynasty again today, but I vow tomorrow to have a Dynasty video of some kind, whether it's an upload or a live stream. Probably a live stream. We'll be back. Appreciate you. See you all later. Miss Navy to the moon.